Well, for a lot of our survivors, Jenny May, they're not. All they want is for the person that has harmed them to get the help that is needed, so that when they do come back out into our community, they are safe. The community is safe.
So, straight at the first point, 3 strikes doesn't do that. In fact, do you think that the person that we're talking about who kissed someone and got 7 years, they're going to have a positive time in jail going, oh, yep, I shouldn't have kissed that person. Now I'm going to get better, and when I come back out into society, I'm going to be a better person. So my disagreement with Louise Nicholas has to do with what she's looking for, I believe, from 3 strikes. 3 strikes doesn't provide. I'll play one more, Chewy, and then you can have a crack at it. This is the same sort of thing. What victims want, and she does a list of things. I've got them written down. It's about 60 seconds ish, and so this is why this is one of the reasons why Louise Nicholas supports the 3 strikes legislation.
They don't believe that what has happened to them is the time that is given for a prison sentence. Like, you know, if you rape somebody, the prison sentence is 20 years. We've never ever seen that. That has never happened. But at the end of the day, it comes down to our survivors are wanting that person who has harmed them to do their time, but also be held accountable, to actually show that remorse, want to come out, not harming again. That's what they want. They want them to get the help that they need. And our prison systems don't really provide that. There are programs out there, problem being, they're not working. We need something different within.
So the criminologist actually talked to that after that segment as well, and he actually said, I agree, programs that are currently in there not working. But to show remorse, to do their time, to be held accountable, to not harm again, to get the help they need, and to stop harming. Other than perhaps you could argue do their time, nothing else from that list would necessarily be provided by 3 strikes. So again, pardon me, the thing that my disagreement with Louise Nicholas in this instance is that what she's looking for from three strikes, 3 strikes will not provide, Chewy.
She's making good points about what she needs. I 100% agree. Like, there's some absolutely fuck sentences out there when it comes to sexual assault and that sort of thing. There are definitely cases where you see the judgment and you go, what the fuck was the judge think? You know? When it comes to this, though, when you look at what leads people down, right, there's so much space for intervention before we get to the there's always signs. Like, people don't go out and decide to be a rapist just out of thin air.
Yeah.
And if we're looking at, it's such a hard argument, because there's people going, well, what would you do about fucking rapists? Well, the whole thing would be to try and not have them rape for a start. So what do we talk about? Do we talk about people's home lives where a lot of this is set up? Do we talk about their addiction issues? None of that is a punchy election slogan. None of that is going to get votes, ever. It might be effective, but we'll never see it. We'll never see it on that bumper sticker, right? Everything we know is that prevention and rehabilitation gets better results than rolling out a Victorian model, or just chuck everybody in a black hole.
Yeah, I mean, then you got to start to ask, why is this happening? And we already know that, you know, David Seymour in particular, I think, wants to build prisons to hold, is it 5,000 more prisoners? And then if we can't afford that, what'll happen? It'll get privatized, back pocket, you know, it's those things. But also, Chewy, you said the question, what about rape, right? What do we do about rape? And I agree. I would like to see those people treated as harshly as possible at that point in time. However, if we're going to have that hypothetical conversation, what about rape? We also have to have the other end of the spectrum conversation. What do we do about the guy who kissed someone and got 7 years? What do we do about the guy who put his hand? Obviously, do I need to have a caveat? We don't support that kind of course I don't need to. You already know that. But we also have to have the conversation on the other end is, what about something that on the level of offences is quite minor that gets 7 years? So as long as we're having both of those conversations, I think it's a fair conversation. What happened in that chat was, and Louise Nicholas, we've never heard someone get 20 years for rape. Great, but yes, I'm with you. Like, let's have that conversation. But we also have to have, what about the guy that got 7 years? It has to be a part of this conversation as well. That's a full and honest conversation about this issue to then hopefully find an answer.